Hello, thank you so much for being here. Welcome. I am Selena here at Sunny Sage 11. If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for clicking or tapping onto this video. If you're returning, I really appreciate you being back here with me as I continue through my 30-day video challenge, which, there's been a few gaps, but we're still making it through. So this is day 27. I recorded day 26 yesterday. And today I wasn't sure what the topic of the next video would be, but it came to me I think it actually came to me a few days ago, but now it's like revealing itself again, which is, trying to pace myself. This might be a little emotional. The title itself might be a little emotional, but I took notes on my phone. I was leaving a restaurant, had some lunch, and I decided to take a little walk, and then I found a bench. And as I was sitting down, and this has come to me on several occasions since I moved back to Korea in a way that didn't affect me the other years that I came. And it, for me, solidifies how much this return back to Korea has been in relation to other changes that I've made within myself, especially with I changed my name. It's like it really revamped my entire identity, and in a way it really reshifted my blueprint, but in a very uplifting way, in a way that helped separate and release me from certain toxic energies and situations, mindsets. Like it's really been a very like 360 experience as far as how I felt before changing my name, and then how I've been feeling since, as far as like, wow, all of these things that I was working through so long, that took so much time to release. It was as if when I changed my name, these things just got released or were able to be taken out of my mental space. And with me being here in Korea, I really feel this sense of healing. And there was a video I did 2 days ago or a few days ago, I think it was day 25, and the title of that video was Take Her by the Hand. And it was me at this park that I just happened to stumble across, walking, just following a new direction that I hadn't gone to. I ended up going on an impromptu like mini hike through this mountain park. And I didn't have this part in the video because at that time it happened a few minutes after I recorded the video. So the video of day 25, I'm like talking about, what I'm feeling and my inner child, and how much that little me would feel so nurtured and supported by this adult version of me, taking care of herself, putting herself in a space where she can feel this sense of peace. And shortly after I finished recording, and I kept walking, and there were so many trees around me, and I wanted to just, something in me said, well, touch one of the trees, like just touch it, like really just connect with nature, not just walking in nature, but touch the environment, feel it. And I said, okay, yeah, let me touch this tree. And as I touched it, I've never had this experience when I have touched trees. I don't know if you're like a tree hugger, or I'm not saying I subscribe to that term, but I am someone who really loves to be in nature. But when I touched that tree, I started crying. And it wasn't like a sad cry, and it wasn't just me crying. I was also like laughing as I was crying. It was like there was this release, and I felt like, wow, like where did this come from? Like I was like, it was like, I mean, nobody, was around me, but even people who were like passing by like a minute later, I was still like laughing. I was crying, like tears were coming out, and I just felt like this release, like this joy of like, I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad that I'm in this place to feel at home, at peace, to feel like I'm letting go. And I felt, as I was sitting down today, I felt myself, I was sitting by the river stream, and I was watching like the reeds of grass, and I was feeling the breeze and feeling the sunshine, watching the clouds, hearing the birds. And I started crying again. I was like, I feel that these tears, and crying as well as like starting to laugh, because I felt like I was crying not just for myself, or not just laughing for myself. I felt that these were the tears and the laughter of women before me in my ancestral line. I felt as if they are moving through me having this experience of moving environments, of putting myself in a new place, even if it meant moving thousands of miles away from where I was born, but coming to a place where I could heal myself on an even deeper level. The healing started before I left the US, but it's like things are really taking much deeper root. It's like you took that first step, now you're here, and you're really creating a life where you can feel happiness and joy, and you're not worried about little things that used to trouble you when you lived in the States, being around people that drained you, being around situations that just didn't support your sense of purpose. And it was as if the tears are not just mine. And if you're someone who's watching this and you're very spiritual like me, maybe you've had moments where you felt the emotions like this isn't just mine. Maybe you're feeling the emotions of an ancestor, a close relative who passed away, maybe a friend who passed away. Like you're feeling as if from the other side that they are still rooting for you, supporting, like, I want you to make it. Maybe I didn't get to achieve or allow XYZ to happen, but by you still being present on this earth and this realm, we are watching and we want you to make the best of this life. And when you succeed, that makes us feel like we also had a way of seeing those dreams come to fruition through you, through your life, through you making choices that uplift you. And I will say, if this is very emotional, so just bear with me. I just had this realization, like, so much of me living in Korea, it's not just about, part of it, yes, it is the physical move, but it for me encompasses so much more in terms of women in my ancestral line that I didn't get to meet, or who I only saw a few times, or who, when I would hear their stories, like knowing they had difficulties and struggles with their relationships or within the family. And I feel that maybe I'm the one who has to be the breaker, as they say, like the curse breaker, or the one who's breaking those patterns that kept the women in my ancestral line not living their best truth, not living their greatest joy. And so I think that when I'm experiencing these emotions, it's like, it's not just me, it's also their joy. Me, in a way, perhaps transmuting the pain that they felt, and me being able to take the experiences and creating the opportunities here that allowed whatever, that can change whatever pain that they experienced into a place of joy, into, oh, this is a lot, into a component of joy. And so the notes that I took on my phone, I emailed them to myself because I'm recording on my phone right now, but I put the notes on my computer. And so I wrote, these aren't just my tears, and not just my laughter. I'm shedding tears that the women before me had to hold in or shrug off. I'm laughing and I'm feeling the joy that they had to either deny or suppress in order to survive. Could these be the laughter and the tears of the women in my ancestral line coming through me? I feel that they're proud of me in this moment. They're glad that I could break free from toxic spaces. They're proud that I'm speaking out and sharing my voice. It's like they're saying, you did it. This pain can come to an end. It can stop. Have you ever felt that? Like, is there something similar that you felt? Like, do you feel like as a result of perhaps you achieving something that you are making gains in a way that those before you weren't able to accomplish or fulfill? And I know, me being a woman of color, being a Black woman, Black American woman, realizing that there has been so much pain that has come with the history it's a lot, the history that is a part of the American fabric, especially when you identify as a Black American woman, the opportunities that may have been cut off or taken away, or the burdens that were placed upon Black American women in centuries past. And it's like, I feel so much of that is being worked through, and I feel that by me taking this chance on myself, I didn't know what was going to be on the other side of changing my name. I felt like I needed to really reset my energy. I really needed to release and shed that old layer of myself, and in a way, shedding a part of me that could not come with me on this next leg of my journey. And I feel that by releasing the family name that I had for so many years of my life, I feel that it allowed me to reset and to really nurture my own energy. And when I did change my name, it wasn't just a first name, it was like a full name. And I do feel like having that separation from the family name that I had with having my own name that supports me, it's like I really feel that I am truly on my own path that is not enmeshed in others, and that is not pulled back or pulled down or feeling like I need to, change or dampen who I am. And so I feel that even when this is a lot, I know. Thank you so much for being here with me on this video. Even when I think of for myself, and when I made the decision to move abroad and knowing that this would be a permanent decision, some of the goals that I set for myself, or the dreams, were not just to move abroad for professional opportunities, but also I still have a vision of being married and having a family while I'm living abroad. And I looked at, when I was saying this and thinking this, one moment I was like in the bathroom at my mom's house at the time, and I was like, the women in my family haven't really had successful marriages. Like, I was looking at the women in my line and aunts, my mother, my maternal grandmother, who I don't have memory of meeting. Well, that's another, leg as well. But for my mother, she grew up in a foster home, and she didn't meet her biological mother until I was like 2 or 3 years old, and she had to go through the work of finding her biological mother, who had given her up for adoption or put her in the foster care system when she was a very young child. And so even for my mom, she said that her finding her mother was also a part of her healing, and she, knowing that by being a mother herself, she didn't want to be a repeat of what her mother did, as far as not keeping or caring for her children under her own custody. And so for my mother, her healing as well was, I'm going to make sure that I do keep my children, that I don't put them into the foster care system. I'm going to be present for my children. And I feel that me being my mother's daughter, that there are still areas of still breaking patterns that don't need to stay. And I feel that me being here can place me in a position where I can be in a healthier space, where perhaps I can be the one in the family who can have that sustainable long-term marriage, who can raise a very healthy family in a different space, and to see that, and to feel and to receive the type of love in a relationship that I feel many women in my family have not had the opportunity to experience on a very long-term level. And there's just a part of me that feels that, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I just feel it's going to happen, that I'm meant to have a loving and long-term sustainable relationship with whoever that person will be. But I feel that me being here is the first step to allowing that to open, and for me to receive that love that I feel other women in my family felt was so fleeting, that they could not see that type of support in their own partnerships. And I feel that there is an opening for that to be available to me here. And yeah, this has been a very emotional video. If you've stuck with me up to this point, I really thank you. There's so much that has been coming up, and I think that me doing these YouTube videos over these 30 days, it really has allowed me to be open to receiving these insights of wisdom and these really deep moments of reflection that go beyond just, well, I got on a plane and I came to Korea. It's so much deeper than that. It's about really carving out a new path that I feel like I'm the first in my family to really do this. And do you ever feel like you're a first in your family when it comes to certain things, whether it's a career, a life change, how you raise your family, how you exist in your relationships, how you love, how you receive love. You're welcome to share in the comments, but I felt I needed to bring this on because that moment in the park the other day, like I never felt like that mix of just crying and laughter. It was like a release. Like I was literally like doubled over. I'm crying and I'm laughing and like the tears are coming, but it was like so like I'm just so happy. Like I'm just like I'm crying because I'm here and I'm the first to do this. Like, how many other women in my ancestral line maybe wanted to leave an environment, but they didn't? They stayed because maybe they felt an obligation or they were afraid to take that step. And it was like me feeling that emotion, like them coming through me in that moment just by touching that tree. And when you think of a tree, like the roots that go into the ground and that sense of a foundation, and it just helped me, it just set an incredible tone for like the rest of my day. Like I even actually at this park, they have areas on the trail where you can actually take off your shoes and like walk barefoot. And I'd never done this before. Like, I mean, at the beach, you know, everybody walks barefoot at the beach, but I'd never done this like at, you know, in like the woods or like a park setting. So I said, you know what? I really just want to ground myself even further. So I found like a little bench. I saw some other people. There was actually a woman, she was sitting on a bench and she had, you know, her feet on the ground and, you know, she's just feeling the earth. And I'm like, I'm just gonna like just free myself, like just take off my shoes. And so I took off my shoes, my socks, put them in my shoes, rolled them up, and then I just like planted my feet on the ground. And I just felt like this sense of electricity, like feeling so planted. And then I just got up and I just started walking. I walked to like a few meters to one direction and then I walked back. And then I just like allowed my feet to just dig into the earth. I like started like moving my toes and just like, you know, digging my feet. I was like, I feel like so like that inner child also coming out, like that part of me that wanted to play and just like be free. And you know, when you're a kid, you go outside, you just allow yourself to have fun and not worry about those mundane things. Like who cares about your feet getting dirty? And actually, I think sidebar, I think I read like there are benefits when we can allow our feet to touch the soil, that there are nutrients and elements and minerals from the earth that we can help absorb back into us. And so I want to go back to this path again because it felt so healing, like just feeling the earth and like feeling the soil between my toes. And I just like dug into it and I just was like, this is so amazing. And yeah, so I feel whatever's been happening, like this has been a very, you know, emotional past month. I didn't even feel this way when I came last year. I think last year I was just like into the whole newness. But as I'm like really settling in and I'm really taking in all these changes and how I'm finding my place here, and even actually tomorrow I'll be doing my virtual women's meetup, and I'm excited about that. And the experiences that I've been having, I really want to bring this to the discussion in terms of how has living abroad been a space for you to heal? Have you found healing while living abroad? What has this meant for you on a deeper level besides just the logistical aspect of living abroad? How has this nurtured your sense of purpose, what you bring to the table? What does this mean for how you see yourself within your family space? Do you see yourself creating a new trajectory within the family line? So I'm excited about tomorrow, and this is going to be great. This is, I feel, part of my purpose. I feel that there's a message that I'm meant to bring, and there are women that I need to connect with to share this message, whose stories I want to hear and listen to, and we have so much that we can share with each other. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. And yes, I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much and take care.